Guys, welcome to episode 3 of the Conspirators Club. If you're already a fully fledged member, then welcome back. And if this is your first time watching, then buckle up because you're in for a deep dive down the rabbit hole. So today we're going to be talking about a very controversial subject. A subject so controversial, I'm going to have to think about how I'm going to word this to you right now. What we'll do, we'll play a video on this subject that I've recently just done, and it'll all make sense. Also, before we look into the clip, if anyone's come here through seeing my content somewhere on YouTube, elsewhere other than this channel, can you please let me know who it is, because I need to check if they've been crediting me. I'm not bothered about people sharing my videos, I'm not bothered about people using them. The truth is the truth and the truth needs to be out there, but it would be nice just for them, It takes 10 seconds to write in the description who I am so people can find me more easily. I've been getting plenty of comments on the channel saying I'm so glad I found your channel, which says to me that they're not crediting me properly.
Eat babies, that is not bullshit. It's true.
So it's not just the dogs and the cats, not just the pets.
They're full-on vampires. And everybody still thinks I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. They're full-on vampires. They love the taste of human flesh and they drink human blood.
I have to be very careful with how I go about this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit you with a factual case and I'm going to tell you how exactly it can relate back to what she's just said. Just type in the two brothers, Muhammad Arif and Farman Ali. These guys went to a graveyard, stole the body of a baby, and did you know what? And the police said that it was related to black magic rituals. Now let's think, who else likes to dabble with this type of stuff? I wonder. These are just two broke guys with no resources, off their own backs. So what about the people who are into it, who have a lot of money? So yeah, I assumed everyone knew about that case. That is a gruesome case, and these people did some very, very strange, evil, sick things. I think it'd be cool to have a little deep dive into it. Literally 30 seconds on a TikTok is not enough. So let's get a bit more into detail with this case. In 2014, in a quiet Pakistani village called Daria Khan, two brothers committed a horror so extreme that it grabbed headlines around the world. They exhumed graves, cooked human remains, and were later found with the head of a small child in their home. Today we'll look into what drove them, and what does this tell us about human darkness, and we'll connect the dots and tie it back to some of the worst atrocities, such as those attributed to the worship of Baal and the Canaanite practices. In this video we'll explore the gruesome case, place it within human history, and examine the risk of drawing connections across millennia. The two men in question were Muhammad Arif, 35, and his younger brother Muhammad Farman, 30, from a rural area in Punjab province, Pakistan. In 2014, neighbours in their village noticed a foul odour emanating from their house. Police were alerted, they raided the home and discovered the severed head of a young child believed to be an exhumed corpse. Arif allegedly confessed that Farman had stolen the body of a 2-day-old baby from a nearby graveyard. The corpse was cooked and then consumed. But this wasn't even their first offence. In 2011, they'd already been arrested for exhuming over 100 corpses and eating parts of them. After serving a prison term, they were released and, according to authorities, resumed their grisly practices. Public reaction was horror, disbelief, and questions about how two people could do such extreme acts. Now this is where it gets really interesting. Pakistan's legal code has no specific law against cannibalism, so the charge level was desecration of a corpse, grave robbery, property destruction, and in some reports terrorism statutes because of the public fear that they caused. In 2014, a court in Punjab sentenced the brothers to 11 to 12 years imprisonment for their crimes. Strong psychiatric evaluation was ordered as authorities suspected mental illness might play a role. The case was widely covered by the press, sparking debate about mental health, social isolation, and the limits of legal systems in dealing with acts that seem beyond human comprehension. To understand how shocking this case is, we need perspective. Cannibalism has occurred in human history during extreme famine, sieges, starvation, in certain tribal rituals, or in rare instances of severe psychopathology. But most known cases are not systematic, nor do they involve infants in the way this case does. Even among those rare occurrences, they are the exception, not the rule. In ritual cannibalism, in which human flesh is consumed for religious or symbolic reasons, is deeply taboo in nearly all societies historically and today, until you take it back to Baal and the Canaanites. This brings us to ancient religion. In the ancient Near East, among the Canaanite, there was worship of deities known as Baal. The most well-known is Baal Hadad, a storm and fertility god, popular in Ugaritic texts from 14th century BCE. The Old Testament sharply criticizes Israel when it turns aside to worship Baal, especially accusing followers of child sacrifice. Archaeological evidence for widespread ritual child sacrifice to Baal is debated among scholars. Some inscriptions and iconography hint of offerings, but some historians would argue against them. More importantly, you may ask, what does this have to do with these two brothers? Well, here's the thing. One detail that often appeared in local reporting is that the brothers may have been motivated not only by cannibalistic compulsion, but also by black magic practices. In South Asia, there are long-standing folk beliefs about necromancy, sorcery, and the use of human remains in dark rituals. Some practitioners believe consuming or possessing human flesh grants the person supernatural power, protection from spirits, or contact with unseen forces. Police in Punjab suggested the brothers were not simply scavenging out of hunger, but were engaging in ritualistic acts tied to occult superstition. Grave robbing, especially of infants and children, has a symbolic weight in such traditions. The innocence of the victim is thought to amplify the power of the rite. While evidence in the courtroom focused mainly on desecration and cannibalism, the rumours of black magic deepened the horror for the local community. Villagers interpreted their acts not just as criminal, but as profoundly unholy, a violation of religious law and a direct echo of ancient demonic practices. And here again we see an unsettling connection to the imagery of the ancient Near East. The accusations of child sacrifice to Baal, whether literal or rhetorical, reflect the same human fear that innocent life could be consumed in the pursuit of dark power. And in Daria Khan, two brothers dragged humanity's deepest taboo into daylight. Their crimes compel us not just to grasp but to reflect on ancient myths, religious memory, mental health, and our responsibilities to the vulnerable. Once again, guys, I thank you for watching along. I hope you found that interesting, and I hope you can see what I was getting at with this. I mean, if this is people from the bottom of the barrel that are inspired by occult practices and that's what they're doing, then we've got to ask ourselves, what are the guys at the top doing that are inspired by occult things? That's all I'm saying. But anyway, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that. This is a pretty new channel, so it definitely needs the push and help of you guys.